Hi, my name's Robert Mayer. I'm from Pease, Minnesota. I own a small hot rod shop called Fame Hot Rods. So it's a 1963 Panhead, matching motor and trans. Started off I was gonna do a crazy build, and as the progression went, it went a lot simpler than I thought. Went with a 30 over front springer, Pontiac running lights. Built the whole frame by hand, ended up building my own frame jig, starting from nothing. Really wanted to try that as a builder, so everything is hand built, fully molded lowbrow tank, oil tank, and then did the single king queen. Favorite part of the bike overall, I think, still is the headlights and the taillight, both off old Pontiac cars. Kind of tied that hot rod theme into the whole thing. Pretty much everything on the whole thing, other than the springer and the bars, were all built in the shop. Biggest struggles, I think, to start with, having a brand new baby. I mean, this thing started and we just had our first, me and Alex, so that was a crazy transition. I talked to her about doing the project and she gave me the thumbs up, even though we knew it was going to be crazy. The combination of that, owning my own business, being in the shop 12 hours a day, then working, another 6 to 8 after hours, and then doing some family stuff on the weekends, and then hopping right back on this for, 9 months was incredibly hard. Another big struggle was financially. I've never built a bike to this extent for myself, ever. So being able to figure out what I could spend, when I should spend, was very difficult because I had to pull from the business for the first time ever. So that made it a little interesting, but just had to work harder during the day to make this happen. Yeah, those are the two major ones, having a new one and financial. Like I said, when I started this project, I had these crazy envisions. I learned acrylic inlays last year. I was gonna do a bunch of cool resin sinking and then do a crazy paint job. I really like some of that wild 70s stuff. And then as I got into it, I wanted a bike that I could ride for 10 years and not it be like, not trendy, but stand the test of time. And since I'm into cars, I really like the old 50s, 60s, George Barris, Gene Winfield, real simple, smooth, shave it down, and then pop it off with chrome or nickel or whatever. So being a custom paint shop and going this simple on a paint was a risk, but overall, I think even when I'm on it, everything just kind of flows together really nice. And overall, as a project, I really like the way it came out. I like chrome, but doing cars, especially with candy paints, I've noticed how much the chrome stands out on the color. So the nickel plate's got a little more goldish red tone to it. And I just thought it would tie it together instead of being so overpowering. You look at some bikes and they're so overpowered with chrome that you don't look at it. So I wanted a bike where nice nickel into the frame, into nickel, into the frame, white seat, just a whole flow kind of deal. So, like I said, I've never built a frame from start to finish. I've raked a frame and I put a back half on them, but I really wanted to, for my own personal lifetime bike, build something from scratch. So yeah, got a table, figured out how to make a frame jig, did all that. The whole front tube was bent on my 1/4-inch table with a torch. And I'll be honest, if you look at it straight on, there's some whatever, but it came out, everything straightened out all the way to front to back. So there's a lot of character in this bike if you look close. Lots of little teeny details that make the paint change a little bit. It looks simple, but there's a lot of little tricks and stuff just to make paint reflect differently and just look as simple as possible. I've learned that I can push myself a lot harder than I thought I could. And I know that's gonna come into play now with the business. I know what I'm capable of doing and meeting that stuff, so I hope what this project did for me makes me better in the shop. I learned how to be, it's crazy doing it for myself because I'm meticulous on the other cars, but doing it for yourself, you don't skip corners, but sometimes you're like, this is good enough, But being in this competition really pushed me to build something nice, not ratty and falling apart, something that I know I can kick and go for a long time on. So So far, so good. She's snappy, the motor feels great. I've never had a longer bike like this, so still getting used to the start out, but once she's 5 miles an hour, she drives straight and bounces around, and it's quick enough for me. So no, she's great. Starting off with my other half, Alex, 100% would not have been able to do this project without her. Took care of the little one. She pushed me on the nights where, there was times where I was so burnt up after work and everything that she gave me that motivation that night, got back at it the next day, and just brought me to the next level where I needed to be. My old man, want to thank him. He recently retired, and we were able to spend some time together on this project. We've been building cars and bikes together for 20 years. Being the last one for him and me, it's very special and very important for the both of us. Something I can pass down to my kid. Lowbrow Customs for all the parts and accessories. They got my wheels, a bunch of little miscellaneous stuff. Northern Springers, dude out of Canada. Drew at Evolution Cycles for the bars. Paint, got to thank my brother. Tim Wolf, huge thank you out of Wolf Machinery in Princeton for hooking it up huge with the motor and the trans. I'm sure there's some guys I'm forgetting. Instagram, all the support on there. Thank you guys. It's been rad, pushing me along the way. Other than that, yeah, I think we're good.